Why do you think we choose intimate partners that we want to be best friends with, but then we end up fighting with all the time and not seeing eye to eye? Why do you think that is in love and relationships?
It's a combination of things, in my opinion. One is, I think we're learning about ourselves through these relationships. And a part of what we're learning is what is negotiable and what is non-negotiable. And the things that are non-negotiable are things that have to be in harmony.
Yeah.
You're never going to have perfect harmony with any partner, any friendship, any business relationship. But you have to have harmony over the things that are non-negotiable. Otherwise, you will wind up fighting over those things in various disguises forever. And I think what happens is when we're lonely or when we really want to have a life partner, we try to fit a square peg into a round hole. We don't fully acknowledge the things that are non-negotiable for us. And we don't fully acknowledge who we're actually with. To truly see the person in front of you, not who you want them to be. To truly see. I always say that like relationships are like an archaeological dig, and you don't want to use a jackhammer. You want to use a brush. Just slowly brush away the relationship and keep showing up and getting to know each other over and over again. You can't have a crash course in intimacy. You can't know all of who someone is in 6 months. You ever see people who are like newly in love and they're not even in love with each other? They just have this like projection thought bubble that's in between the two of them.
They're perfect. Yeah. They're perfect.
Yeah.
And it's just the chemicals that they're in love with.
Yeah.
The feeling of love.
Right. And then what happens is the person doesn't live up to your unspoken expectations.
Yes. And the fantasies.
And you resent them and you fight them. Be what I want you to be so that I don't have to be lonely anymore.
Wow.
It's like if you actually knew who you were and you were willing to let go, and by you, I mean me, because I had to learn this over and over again, broken record, repeating the same mistakes, dancing to the music that I didn't even like because it was the patterns. If you were able to do that, then you would actually go like, I don't think this is right for me. We have some things that are non-negotiable. That's okay. Can we negotiate what's non-negotiable? If we can't, then I love you and I'm going to move in another direction because I love myself more and I love the future partnership more. When I first met Andriana on our first date, at the end of the date, she asked me, she goes, "So how old are you?" And I was like, "I'm 39.
She was what?
What's that?
What was she at that time?
God, she was 25. Which, by the way, there was no way. I didn't know how old she was when we went on our first date. And because we met online. And I was like, there's no way. Because I had my own list. And I was like, I'm not seriously dating anybody that's not blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I'm not blah, blah, blah. I'm not blah, blah, blah. I am blah, blah, blah. These are the ideas that I had for my partnership. But I was at least mature enough to show up and see what was there. And she was too. So anyway, she goes, "You're 39. You don't have any kids?" I go, "No." She goes, "Okay. You never been married?" I go, "No." She goes, "Okay.
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
And the thing is, she had every right to ask it. Every right, because I knew why she was asking. But the truth is, I had been asking myself the same thing. And I was uncomfortable answering because I wasn't sure if I was not settling to settle down or I was actually getting in the way of having real intimacy.
Interesting.
And so I go, I don't want to answer that. And then it got hella awkward and the date ended soon afterwards. And I think both of us thought we were never going to see each other. And then luckily we got a second date and 6 years later, here we are.
Wow. So what made you so uncomfortable to answer that question? Or what was the answer inside of you that you didn't want to share?
Well, now all these years later, she was the reason that she asked. You know, she was the answer.
Mm.
You know, there was nothing wrong with me. I was waiting for having that true ride or die, because how I grew up,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you might be able to relate, but I won't put words in your mouth. Trust for me is non-negotiable.
Mm.
Trust for me is everything, because I didn't grow up feeling trust in many ways. And I'm not pointing any fingers. I'm grateful for everything. I have so much love for my childhood and who I am sitting here with you now,
Mm-hmm.
which took all of it.
Yeah.
But like, I can't be in a real partnership unless I can look at my partner and be like, I got you and you have me and we're across the
Wow.
room. And, you know, I hadn't found that.
Yeah.
And I had been trying to fight with past relationships to turn them into that. And now in retrospect, I want to apologize to all of them and thank them, because they were helping me figure out who I was and what was non-negotiable so that I could get to that person that I truly have that type of partnership with.
Did you feel like you were that person for yourself? Did you trust yourself fully?
No. And I think that there were even times where I used the other person as my excuse to not look within.
Interesting.
So it was almost like, you ever like, I don't know, like choose somebody unavailable because you're unavailable?
Of course.
And then blame them for being unavailable?
Of course. The longer you get into it, you're like, okay, why aren't you more available for me? Yeah. I'm sure I was the same way for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but then maybe somebody comes to you and says, wow, like I'm available. And you're like, I'm not attracted to them for some reason.
You know what's interesting as you're saying this? Like, if someone is emotionally available, they would never choose someone who's unavailable.
Exactly.
They would see it and they're like, that doesn't work for me. Like, they have to be equally available for me to want to be willing to explore this. Because if someone's saying, I'm available emotionally, but I'm choosing someone wounded who doesn't open up and who's got all these secrets inside and doesn't want to look me in my eyes and connect with me intimately, then you're wounded still because you're trying to fix someone.
Yes. And that's hard to take responsibility for. It's much easier for us to blame other people, to find excuses.
Yes.
And when we do that, we get farther away from the truth, and we have to uncover more layers so that we can get down to taking responsibility for ourselves and our choices.